to Let's Talk Politics on AIG Video Pro. I'm Agogo Obo, and we're dealing with a number of issues that affect development, politics, and generally how we see life in this country. Henry Balogun is with us this day, and he's going to be talking to us about unemployment and technology innovation for youths in this country. He's a lawyer. He's also been involved in public and private and non-governmental positions as a consultant and as a trained consultant for a number of organizations in recent years, and he's lent his expertise in all these areas in providing solutions to development. Great to have you on Let's Talk Politics.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. It's great to be here with you.
Brilliant. I'm sure, let's start where it matters most, because we're approaching general elections, and what is important to many people is the quality of leadership they can find at the executive position or even at legislative positions, wherever it happens. In your years of experience working with government and also working in the private sector, what do you think is most important in terms of leadership qualities that a leader should have as a vice for office?
Well, first and foremost, I will say this. There are very different levels of competencies, capabilities, character. I think first and foremost, we need to look at the nation and the values driving this country and the challenges. And leadership must be seen from that perspective. Who has the character? Who is competent and who is capable? So I would not make it generic and just go into what are leadership qualities. The leadership qualities required, even from state to state in Nigeria, are totally different. So there are generic leadership qualities the person must be. I think for Nigeria, someone who is highly detribalized, knowledgeable, who can put a team together that understands the issues affecting our nation, whether it be economy, whether it be the health issues, education, youth unemployment, and it's got to be someone with a holistic understanding of this entity referred to as the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I'm sure, have heard, as the campaigns have gone on, what a number of the political actors have said on how they intend to deal with a huge problem like unemployment. Just a couple of months, I think it was even last month, the Bureau of Statistics released a report on unemployment for the country, and the staggering numbers haven't reduced in any ways. Instead, it's gone up in terms of percentages, double digits, over 20%, especially with the youths. What have you heard that you think has inspired confidence or has encouraged frustration with the actors in terms of what they hope to do when it comes to unemployment?
Well, different things have been done by federal, by state government, different initiatives. And I think in their own way, they have tried to boost youth, in particular, youth unemployment. Unemployment in Nigeria is a very, very major issue. I think the last National Statistics Bureau gave us, 21?
21%.
Point something percent. That is huge. That is very high, and mostly youth. Federal government has initiated programs, but you see, when you look at the number of people, you can congratulate yourself for reaching out to how many? Say a couple of millions out of nearly, if we put it in numbers, you're talking of nearly 30 to 40 million within that age bracket who are unemployed. We need to come up with a broader strategy to address not just youth, and particularly about youth. So I might go on speaking about youth, but when we're speaking of unemployment generally in the country, then we need to have a more diverse strategy that looks at the various areas of the economy, that we can grow this economy, encourage, and then we break it down. We'll break it down first. Let me step back a bit. You have different sets of people who are unemployed in Nigeria. Let's take the graduates. You have employable graduates and unemployable graduates. You have medium certificate holders You have school certificate holders, and then you also have stark illiterates. These four categories of people need to, whichever way, find gainful employment. What government must then do first is take each category. What do you want to do with the employable graduates? So these are graduates who have left school, who have good and understand what it is. I mean, basic skills, decision-making skills, numeracy skills, attitudinal skills, writing skills, and are ready for the job market. And then to see if we can get them jobs. Then you have the unemployable. These are people who have graduated, but they don't even know the basics of what employers require. They don't have presentation skills. They don't have critical thinking skills. They don't have writing skills. They don't have presentation skills. They don't have numeracy skills. And you find out, bring it down to Lagos again. So Ready Set Work is handling that in Lagos. Some technology portals are handling that. You're trying to upskill this unemployable so they in fact have skills that will make them employable, and then they'll get jobs if there are any jobs out there. And it scales down. You take another state, come down, Lagos, we're in Lagos, look at the 5 technical colleges that they've set up so that people can have technical skills. We need to have this all over the country. What are we doing with the technical colleges? To try and make people, rather than go out of Nigeria, to find people to do basic things, construction, artisans, then we upskill our youth or Nigerians to be able to get employment in those sectors. And then the stark illiterates, what you're doing is poverty alleviation or other things, I mean, basic skills that they have to get employed.
You think those things work? Because I've had a lot of criticism about social intervention programs, for example. We've had the Empower, we've had a number of ones before that time saying that it was more mere tokenism rather than dealing with the problem.
Yes, because the number of people, you see, if you look at what was it that the last administration had, WIN?
Yes.
WIN, I mean, that, yes, you win, but how many people did you win get to? That's why you can't deny the fact that there is some effort. Do you understand? There is some effort being made. How effective and how wide? What's the reach? Everything now is based on reach. How many people in a country of 180 million with a high population of unemployed people, what percentage do you have for a specific program? So if you're touching 1% or 2%, we're still scratching the surface. If you're touching 10%, we haven't even reached. And then even look at Empower. Empower, good program, good intentions. But really at the end of the day, how many people has or have been actually empowered in this case with the project?
If we step aside from the employers of labor, very quickly, and then look at the people themselves in terms of what they desire and expect. I saw a report recently which was done for the employment portal, saying 90% of the people who go out for jobs are actually looking for the wrong jobs. They're not suitable for those jobs they're looking for, whereas the jobs they're suitable for isn't there. Tell me about expectations of typical Nigerian youth, of what he expects from the system.
Wow, it's tough. The mentality of the Nigerian youth has changed totally. I'm not an expert in that area, but obviously, first and foremost, you need to understand that majority of youth are looking at making money, not building a career. They are two different things. So I come out of university, or I haven't been to university, but I think we have to be careful here, because there's this cascading effect. Education is, I dare say, at its worst. Right now, I think ASU is on strike. We all know that. Now, you look back, what type of graduates are we churning out? The graduate cannot look at the educated and decide, I want to follow that path. Because everyone they looked up to went to university, graduated from university, got a job or did get a job. And so, if you tell him, look, focus on building a career, he's looking at you and he can name 10 relatives, including maybe his parents, who got nowhere with education or this. So, but he looks at the role models you have today. And I'm being very practical here. Let's not get too technical on it. Who are the role models? I don't want to mention names.
I put you in a pause there very briefly. We'll come back This one with Henry Balogun on Let's Talk Politics. When we come back, we'll look at some other issues with respect to unemployment and technology. Please stay with us. Welcome back to AIG Video Pro Let's Talk Politics. Just a reminder, you can get us on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter. We've got great videos, also on YouTube, where you can look at interviews we've had on Let's Talk Politics recently. Still talking with Henry Balogun, legal practitioner, social entrepreneur, innovator, among several things he's involved in. Technology is something which is very important, not just to youth, but to Nigeria. A couple of years ago, Nigeria's GDP got boosted, mainly because of what it was doing in technology, telecommunications. And I saw another report also recently which said Nigeria's prosperity index has gone up. A lot of people disputed that. But one of the parameters I remember where Nigeria moved and leapfrogged many nations was what called social capital, which basically is about what we do with the internet, social media, and all of that. Nigeria playing a huge role with that. But technology, a number of people have also argued we haven't really seen the benefits in terms of what we can do with it. It's your passion, this technology and what innovation and all of that. What do you think we're getting right or not getting right?
Wow, huge. I think first is an understanding of technology, which is the idea of using systems, processes, devices to execute or apply to practical issues in our daily lives. Technology has always been there since the Industrial Revolution. Whatever we've done, whether the telephone, whether computers, agricultural equipment, airplanes, basic computers, there's always been technology. And technology has always created a situation where there's been advancement. Now, there's a difference between technology and, I would say, now this is my own opinion, and disruptive technology, where we now begin to look at the way things have been done using technology to how things are now being done. People are looking at, okay, how have we used technology? It's always been there. But suddenly you find a new era. You find a new era with the development of the internet and, I say, social media, smartphones, that things, it's a different, that there are now different dynamics on how technology may affect a nation positively or negatively. For some people, they believe advancement in technology might mean replacing humans with robots. Trust me, we're not there yet. Again, that might happen, but Nigeria isn't there yet. There's enough people to employ using technology to even drive any business. So yes, does technology have a role to play? A huge role. Has it had great advantage in Nigeria as at today? Yes. Will it have great advantage? Yes. Are we where we are meant to be? No. In other words, when we talk about unicorns, I don't think any Nigerian technology company can be referred to as a unicorn in any way, shape, or form. We're still at the thin stages, but that's also good. Now, in terms of technology and employment, there are two areas. Technology will aid on employment through, again, for example, the various things that are being done, the various initiatives that will help somebody who is unemployed go online and have his, universities online more or less. So he can get skills, e-learning courses, interviewing skills, practical skills. So you have portals that are job portals. Now, employers place their jobs on those portals. There are two levels so this is the first. The first is, how do you even get people who are unemployed, which we dealt with earlier. But now saying, how does technology help? Technology means everything is available for somebody who is employable or who is unemployable and wants to become employable to go online and study. With technology portals, that's one advantage. Then technology advancement in itself is a different thing. I'm trying to distinguish between the two. Technology helping people educate themselves, learning technologies and all, e-learning courses. But we want to talk about practical technology. We are thinking of diversifying our economy into agriculture.
as that today all over the world, agric is driven by new technology in different forms. Even oil and gas that we're trying to move away from is driven by technology. But with agric, whether it's watering, plowing, harvesting equipment, it means you can harvest faster. Now let us take the cascading effect again. Harvest faster, more crops. It has to be transported to the marketplace, storage. And so everything creates levels where people can find gainful equipment. So let's take one, that's agriculture, a major issue. Transportation, airplanes, cars, water transportation, and now we haven't gotten there, outer space. But let me take a practical example of how technology. Uber sat down. Young guys, we all know the story, and they don't own a car, but they own the largest transport company in the whole world. Now that company, as at today in Nigeria, that technology, in terms of numbers, is daily providing employment. Those cars are a bit rickety now. We have to go back to Uber and Taxify and talk to them, because it's one, they're doing things they wouldn't do in their own country. You have drivers who are holding their phones, you have windshields. It's a different thing, but the technology is there. So a lot of people, I use Uber a lot. The guy I used this morning, I called an Uber, and he was telling me about himself. I mean, he's a student, but he had, writing his project, but also he's on strike. You see, so technology is two fronts. One, you can use it on the side I said earlier, and then it's providing gainful employment in different areas for young Nigerians. The impact of the numbers, I don't have the data, but all I know is that if we now look at how technology can affect in government.
Which is the point I'm getting to straight away, because if you look at Lagos, for example, it's made great advances in terms of what it does with public service administration. Perhaps better than a number of states, but maybe not where a lot of people think it should be. But you look at public service in Lagos, for example, or general public, you have experience in public service also too, and look at what people have called the bureaucratic bottlenecks within the system. In what ways do you think we can begin to achieve goals as quickly as possible in terms of applying technology in helping public service administration?
Again, we're speaking culture or cultural issues here. I was once involved quite a while back in delivering computer systems to a state government. And there was to be a training element, not Lagos State, trust me, not Lagos State. One of those other states.
Good.
And we were meant to train the senior executives. And one of the senior executives got to, the training room, and training was supposed to start. And guess what he said? He said, no, this is nothing. They call my secretary to come and get trained, because what does he have to do with it? You see, the society is such that for technology to have the effect you are talking about, and Lagos has done, if you want to use Lagos, even federal government, a lot of things. Look at the licensing procedure in Lagos. You don't have to see anyone. All you need to do is pay to the bank, you get your vehicle license, your registration. It's an automated process. That is e-governance. So in many areas, you have e-governance. Paying your taxes, e-governance. But as relates to what you're saying specifically, where you have the human element, it might take time, but I dare say slowly but surely, now we're paying all our taxes, we're paying our fees, we're paying now, but where you have a challenge with when the receipt is issued or having to present the receipt thereafter to some office, and that has to be done manually, then that defeats the purpose, but that will take time. So will technology enhance government? That's the way to go. That's the way government is going. I think a high percentage of everything going on in Lagos now is technology driven. But you can't take out culture. You can't take out that part of the man who is in charge of who is responsible for tech still wants to be involved. Files still have to be carried. Somebody still has to sign and approve, but we will get there. That's
People will get there. The file is closed on this segment and this discussion with Henry Balogun. Thank you very much. Legal practitioner, social entrepreneur, innovator on Let's Talk Politics on AIG Media. You can watch this interview in several on our different social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Awogo Obo. Bye-bye.